know me, I'm Tracy Wilson with Tourcy, Tours by Tracy. And this was a tour, you know, we're going through some unusual times now, but we always pick our tours a year in advance. And this was a tour, you know, I've done a lot of Italy in the past, but I liked this one because it really delves into the flavor of Italy and not just the culture of the area, but it really is a culinary tour. There's a lot of tours out there that say they're culinary and you do tastings and samplings, which you will do on this tour, but you also actually have hands-on and you make the food and then you get to eat it, which from my experience is the very best thing because you've participated in it and I love it. The hotel stays are, you're in some great locations, not just for a night. Rome is not just an airport city where you go to Rome to fly in and out. You're actually touring in Rome. And I think when Amanda tells you about this tour, you are going to understand why I selected to promote this tour. So I'm very excited to turn it over to Amanda to tell us all about this tour and Mayflower.
Great, thank you. So thank you for coming on, Troy and Carol, and we're very excited to be able to partner with Tracy on this. And definitely as we go through, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat box, or at the very end, if you want to unmute and ask some things, that is completely fine too. So all the questions are welcome. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys so you can see some pictures that I have, because this tour is absolutely beautiful and the pictures are amazing. I want to make sure you get the whole thing here. So let's see. Can everybody see that okay? Tracy, are you good? Ooh. Okay. All right, can everybody see?
I see Mayflower Cruises and Tours has started screen sharing.
Okay, perfect, we've got it. Okay, so you see the first slide?
No, not yet.
It says it's right there. Maybe it's loading. It says I'm screen sharing.
There we go, there we go.
Okay, so maybe we've got a little delay. Okay. I love technology. Perfect. So here we go. So Mayflower Cruises and Tours is a company that's been around out of the Midwest, actually, right outside Chicago. And I'm new to the Mayflower team, but not necessarily to travel. My name is Amanda Coleman. And many of you may have seen me before when it comes to presentations with Tracy and Tourcy or lifestyle tours, and very excited to be working in travel still, and I'm very, very excited about this trip. This is actually my husband and I drinking wine in Italy. So of course, having this Italian tour and talking about all the fun stuff you're going to do, I had to reminisce a little bit and find a picture of some good Italian wine too. So what I love about doing these different tours and trips, you know, everything that's taken care of for you. So not only do you have Tracy the entire time who's going to help you with reservations and what to pack, what to wear, all those things, it is taken care of on the Mayflower end. So we have the best things included for you with your trip. Now let's see if this will move to the next slide for me. There we go. So you have your transportation, you have your baggage handling. You know, we're moving your bags from hotel to hotel and making it smooth for you. You have your professionally trained tour managers. They specialize in the destination. They are able to tell you the history and dive in and, you know, tell you their favorite little spots to grab a cappuccino or my favorite, gelato. We'll also have a couple local step-on guides when it comes to this tour, and some historians that can really tell you about the history and what's happened here. You know, for instance, in Pompeii, you have a great local step-on guide who's going to walk you through that area. The unique dining experiences. I know Tracy said a little bit about what you're going to be doing, but you get some experience really making your lunch and making your dinner on this tour, and it is so much fun. And then your hotels, they are breathtaking. Great areas where you can walk around, enjoy it. You can take in the sights and know that you're not having to take a cab or a train just to get to the center of town. So you have all these things taken care of for you on this Mayflower tour. Now, when we go here, you'll take a peek. So our Culinary Italy from Sorrento to Rome. So this trip is May 1st through the 13th of next year. And what I love about this tour, if you can see my map here, so you're only staying in 3 hotels. You have a 5-night, a 3-night, and another 3-night. Very leisurely paced and comfortable. You don't have to worry about moving every other day or anything like that. I mean, 5 nights in one spot, you're going to get so comfortable with the area. It's wonderful. And plus, this is my favorite time to go to southern Italy because the weather. So you're going to be ranging in that 60 to 75 in May. So very comfortable. Make sure you have some layers that you can dress in and just be comfortable as you're going throughout each day. So now we're going to get started and dive into every single day. The first thing we have to do, we have to get there. So you'll have an overnight flight and you will get into Naples. So Naples is a wonderful area. We're not going to spend much time here. So it's really just our fly in so we can get down to Sorrento, to the coast. So you're flying from Evansville, and once we get closer, Tracy will have the air schedule that she can share with you. Now, once you land, you're going to be greeted by a Mayflower tour manager, and then we're going to drive to your first hotel. So remember, that first hotel, you're there for 5 nights. So take some time once you get checked in to relax a little bit and be prepared later for that welcome dinner. So try not to nap for me. I want you to stay awake and adjust to that time change. We have a time change of 7 hours from Central Time. So just keep that in mind. You're going to want to keep moving, maybe get a cappuccino, enjoy the breeze. You're going to be by the water. It is the perfect thing. After you have that welcome dinner, you meet everyone you're going to be traveling with, then you'll sleep well, and the next day we'll do our sightseeing. So you'll be just fine if you can hold out and not nap for me. The next day, we're going to do a walking tour in town. So some gorgeous things to see. And if you explored the day before, you might be a little more familiar with the area, which is nice too. So have those good shoes on, some good comfortable walking shoes. We're going to start in the Piazza Tasso. So the piazza is the square, and this square here in town actually opens up to the old quarter. So you'll see in different towns throughout Italy, piazza this, piazza that, so the main square, so different squares. So after you go through this one, you'll notice little cafes and spots where you can just stop, have a glass of wine. You'll see all the friendly people. But we'll also go to the Basilica of St. Anthony. St. Anthony's bones are actually in the crypt below. So very interesting to be able to explore and go through this area. Now, keep in mind, everyone will have a whisper headset. So they just plug right in your ear. You'll have that little thing so you can walk around, listen to the tour manager, and you don't have to worry about being right next to them. You can space out a little bit. Now, after we've done that, you need to get ready because we've got to eat. So we've been making and cooking, and here we start. So we are going to make a pizza. So this is the very first thing you dive into, and this is going to be, hopefully, a Neapolitan pizza. So it's called a Neapolitan pizza because of Naples. So it is a Naples treat. Now, what makes it a Neapolitan pizza? So you'll see mozzarella, the tomatoes. You're probably most familiar with it as a margherita pizza, but over there it's a Neapolitan pizza because the tomatoes come from an area where they've grown near Mount Vesuvius. So it makes it a very unique kind of taste for you. Hopefully yours looks as delicious as this because it looks amazing. Now the next day, you are gonna make your way out to Pompeii. So remember, you're staying in that same hotel this whole time and just going back each day, you're having different meals, that tour manager, and you're not having to worry about packing and unpacking at all. Now, Pompeii is gonna be a great thing to go through. I loved walking through Pompeii. This is definitely a day where you need to make sure you're careful when you're walking and you're looking down. Pompeii is a town, of course, near Mount Vesuvius that unfortunately back in 79 AD was completely covered and destroyed whenever Mount Vesuvius erupted. You will have someone guide you through this town. You'll be able to see different buildings and what was a home at the time and different spots where people lived. And they have a little museum that you can walk through and kind of see. It's on glass on your side, but you can see different things that were found, like pottery and things like that. So it's a really unique experience to go through Pompeii, and just to think of how quick it happened too. Many people don't realize that when Mount Vesuvius erupted, people couldn't really get away. The lava was flowing down and everything happened so quick. It moves at about 150 miles per hour. So by the time they realized what was happening, it was too late. So going through Pompeii, I think, is a great experience for everyone. And you'll have that local guide and those whisper headsets with you. Now, after that, you'll have free time, and the next day, we head out to Capri, the island of Capri. So this is a wonderful day, one of my favorites, and we'll take this ferry that you see, and it's only about a 30-minute ferry ride, so very easy and quick, but once we get to Capri, we have a lot going on, and it's fun stuff. So Capri is a very small island, absolutely gorgeous. Tons of boats and yachts, and of course, views of water forever. But one of the things that's really neat with it too, you'll go to some different high points here. So with Capri, because the roads are small, we'll divide up into smaller vehicles, and then that way we can go to the top. So Anna Capri, this area where you can kind of see the island from different directions and really take it all in too. So after doing a little bit of that, my favorite part, not only are you going to taste gelato, you are going to make some gelato. So if you haven't been to Italy and haven't had gelato, it comes in so many different flavors: mint, chocolate, vanilla, coffee, you name it. My favorite is either chocolate chip or the mint chocolate chip, so make sure you try that, but you'll definitely enjoy having a chance to make it and taste it while you're here. After that, you'll try another local thing here, so you will have some limoncello. Remember, just because limoncello is in a small glass like that, you don't take it fast, so you sip your limoncello. So that will be a nice little tip for you to remember, to have a nice little slow sip of it here and there. But it is very delicious. And of course, we're in Italy. We've got to dive in. We've got to do what the locals do. So gelato and limoncello. Now, after that, the next day, we're heading around and seeing the Amalfi Coast. I love the Amalfi Coast for the fact that everything is just so picturesque and built into the hillside. You'll see the colors here are just gorgeous. And this way you can see the different ways that people live. The small streets are going to amaze you, and the way that they just drive through everything so easily. So the gorgeous homes right there built on the edge. I mean, I can't believe that is their view every single day. We look out and might see a cornfield. They look out and see the beautiful ocean, and I love it. So I think you'll really enjoy your time exploring Amalfi and getting to walk around a little bit too. So tons of different things you'll see here, and just make sure, you're comfortable. You're dressing in those layers. You have your cameras charged, because there's so many beautiful sights that you're going to want to see each and every day while you're walking around Italy. Now, one of the things we'll see here is their Duomo. So Duomo is their church, and you can tell the detail on it as you're looking at this picture here. A lot of this is hand done. So to think of the time it has taken, it's amazing. And to be able to be up close and walk around and be personal with it, I think you're really going to enjoy it. Now, again, we've got to dive in. So you will have a pastry making lesson. So this is a time where you can use those baking skills, hopefully, if you have some, and then that way you can make some nice sweets to eat and taste. So we'll have that pastry making lesson for you. So we've already made gelato, and maybe this will go with it too. Now we're going to go also to the Sorrento area. The Sorrento area is between two gulfs, so you'll be able to see it, and it is just gorgeous when it comes to the way it flows, and that breeze that you're going to feel each day is going to be amazing too. So seeing the Sorrento area, you're going to really enjoy it. Now we finally switched to our different hotel here. So day 7, we are seeing this Greek temple. So this is one of the most well-preserved Greek temples in the area. And you can kind of see in my picture here, there's people standing there. And just to give you an idea of the sheer size of it, the size of the columns and just the way and how large it is, it's amazing that it has stood this test of time and everything that has happened. So this area, so it's called the Magna Graecia, and this area used to be highly populated by Greeks. And so the Romans gave it the name, the Magna Graecia. Now it's time for some more food, culinary tour, of course. So here you are going to learn about buffalo mozzarella. So maybe you'll have some mozzarella, some tomatoes. It'll be a delicious snack for you. So lots of chances to learn about different food and different cheeses too. Now the next day here, we are in Agropoli. So we are having a chance to go out and see each day. So remember, we're just at our second hotel, and you'll be here for 3 nights. So with Agropoli, you'll see that similar look to Amalfi, the way things are built up on the hill, but not quite as though it has those cliffs. Now here, we are gonna make some pasta. So a pasta class, I think, is the perfect thing to kick off this area. So by now, after this, hopefully, you'll be able to make a whole Italian meal when you come home, starting from the entree to dessert. So hopefully you can do it. This pasta making class will be a lot of fun, and hopefully you paid attention because you're also eating what you make that day. So have a chance to have a taste, and hopefully you enjoy it. So lunch is something that you have made. Now this day is also one of my favorites because after that, you worked hard for your lunch, you deserve a break. So you are going to dive in and head to a winery. So with that, you'll be able to have a tasting, walk around the vineyard, learn about the grapes, the area, and just what makes this wine so delicious. And of course, you can bring back bottles of wine if they're unopened. You can bring 2 bottles of wine in your checked bag. Remember, don't open them. Or you can ship them home too if you'd like. Now the next day, because we had that pasta making class and the wine tasting, we needed some rest, right? So the next day here, we are going to go to an olive oil mill. So you will learn all about the olive oil process, see a grove there with beautiful olive oil trees, and do a tasting. So there are tons of different olive oils out there that you can have and enjoy. So this is a wonderful way to just relax and try some different ones that maybe you haven't heard of, some combinations here. The next day, you'll remember on our map, we make our way south to Rome. So while it looked like it would be a long day, it's really not. So then we start making that drive. It's a 3-hour drive in total, but we do stop at a local farm for lunch. So you're not going to be on the bus too long, I promise. So with this, you'll have a nice local lunch at a farm with some traditional food and snacks, which I think that just looks absolutely amazing. And then after our stop here, we will get into Rome. So again, we're in Rome for those 3 nights. So we had our 5 nights before, 3 nights, and then now another 3 nights. So with Rome, this is the eternal city, and we have lots and lots of things to see while we're here. Rome is amazing, one of my favorite spots that I've ever been to. So with that, you will see Palatine Hill. And remember, those Whisper headsets are going to be very handy for you so that you can see the sights, so you could hear your tour manager and not feel as though you have to be right next to them the entire time. You'll go through the Roman Forum and just look at the size. I mean, I can't believe how long it's made it and been able to be taken care of and so well maintained. You'll see the Circus Maximus here. Also, the Colosseum. So you will have a tour inside, and the Colosseum is one of my favorite things that I have ever done. So being able to walk through, to just imagine how it used to be with thousands of people screaming in this arena. It is breathtaking and really just awe-inspiring to think of everything that happened here. So I love going through the Colosseum each time. And you don't have to worry about waiting in lines for hours and hours. You know, we have everything booked ahead of time, and so it's nice and smooth for you. No waiting around. Now the next day, we explore the world's smallest country. We are in Vatican City. So with that, of course, we have a busy time too. So getting through Vatican City, you will go inside to do a tour and to also be able to hear some commentary of the paintings, the statues, and it's the history. It's beautiful. So Vatican City here, you'll get inside, and once there, you'll see the Sistine Chapel. Now remember, in certain spots, they won't allow you to take pictures. Please be respectful of that. There's a bunch of spots where you can stop and get some great books, which will actually have really good pictures. So I always like to do that from a museum so I can have that book and look through it later. But I just can't imagine, you know, how much of this Michelangelo painted, but painted laying on his back. You know, could you imagine holding your arms up and painting this for hours and hours on end? I really couldn't, and all of it is breathtaking. Now you'll also see one of his most famous statues, the Pieta, and this is inside also. So Michelangelo did this when he was just 25 years old. And one of the really neat things with it is that what it depicts is Jesus after the crucifixion, laying in his mother Mary's arms. So it is a beautiful, beautiful statue, and it is a great focal point that you'll see once you're inside. Now, after that, you'll have some free time to yourself to walk around and explore the city a little bit more. But then we'll all come together for that farewell dinner, and you head off the next morning to beautiful Evansville, Indiana. Now, are there any questions anyone has typed in on the tour itself before I do some bookend things? Let me see. No questions? I think. Didn't see any. Well, I'll do some bookend items and then I'll stop sharing. Oh, I think I've got something. Ah, there it is. Okay. Is it possible to extend the trip? Yes. If you would like more time in Rome or, you know, to venture off to another city, that is completely fine. Just talk with Tracy. We can help you line up your hotels and change your airline ticket too. So that is completely fine. Take a day to yourself to relax. Any other questions right now? Okay. I'll do some bookend things and then pull it back up. So let's see. Now we also have our travel protection. So I want everyone to make sure they understand. So our travel protection is cancel for any reason, and you'll get your money back minus the cost of the insurance up until 24 hours before your tour. So you can cancel just because maybe something comes up, you forgot you had plans already somehow, you got a bad haircut. I mean, I've heard tons of things while working in travel. Don't worry about it. You just let Tracy know and we'll handle it. But it also covers you while you're on tour. So if you were to lose your luggage, you need medical coverage, you're feeling ill, it's there for you. So it is very good coverage, and I can get some detailed information to you on that if you would like. But it's also very reasonably priced, which is one of the things I think is important. It's just one price, it's the same price for everyone. So for this trip, the travel protection plan is $299 per person. Now you'll see here we have a special going on. So per person rates until November 30th. So you'll save $150 per person. So the orange price is the price you'd have for the tour, airfare from Evansville, taxes, you name it. So 2 people to a room, it's $49.99. And if you're traveling as a single, then it'd be $57.98. Now to sign up, it's always a deposit of $250 per person on this trip, plus the travel protection if you want that. So remember, it's optional and up to you, and that's that cancel for any reason coverage. So you would do both of those at the same time if you wanted. Does that make sense? Any questions on that part? Okay, I think we're good so far. Now remember that pricing is until November 30th of this year because the trip is in May. And I'll go to the next one here. Now you'll also, maybe you've traveled with Mayflower before, you have your Mayflower money. So you can redeem up to $65 of your Mayflower money, and that will go off the price of the tour. Also, while you're on this tour, you will earn Mayflower money for your next trip. So you earn $5 per day for every day of the tour. So with this one, you'd earn $5 a day times 13 days. Oops, and we've got a question. Is airfare included? So yes, airfare is included. It's included from Evansville. If you'd like, we can price it out of O'Hare if you live in that area, whatever's convenient for you. Or if someone else wants to join, a friend from another airport, they'd be able to do that too. So great question, Carol, thank you. But yes, it is the tour, airfare, and taxes. And let's see here. That is it. So I will get over here so that way I can change it if you guys have any questions for me. But thank you so much for joining and learning about this beautiful trip with me. And I will turn it over here. So I'll stop sharing, and that way I can answer any questions